What is this? With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. That was professional.
Hey, yo. As always, my internet has started to play silly buggers in the last 5 minutes.
Of course it has. So all that was your fault.
Yes, it has indeed.
Definitely not me for clicking buttons.
No, probably, mate. I had to reboot the modem. I had to do all sorts of nonsense, and it's still giving me little symbols that say, I'm shit in the bed. So, yes, there we go. If I disappear, I will be back.
I mean, will you? It is the Gillberg episode.
Gillberg episode. What a fantastic background, Magsy, with his little starey, bog-eyed face looking at us.
Yeah, I thought I did really good work, but there's a little bit of jealousy in the art world, obviously. King's Pigs Bladder saying his Gillberg picture was much better than last week. No, it wasn't.
Oh, there we go, mate. There we go. WrestleMania weekend, Maxie. Did you enjoy the show?
The first show, night one, banging, brilliant,
yes,
entertaining. Night two, it was kind of the same as last year, where the second night felt overkill, and it was a little bit drab, a lot overbooked. Yeah, I wasn't as entertained with the second night as I was with the first, but we did get an amazing return.
Okay.
The fact that Shane McMahon is back in the WWE, the fact that Shane McMahon paid homage to his dad's most infamous ring entrance, I mean, you can't fault the guy. He literally blew his quad to impress his dad and to try and make him love him.
Daddy, love me. Look how high I can fall.
You know, on going backstage on that stretcher, he was saying, "Did I do well, Daddy? Did I do well?" And Vince is like, "I hate you. I hate you so much.
Why can't you be more like Hunter? You're an embarrassment to the family." Yeah. No, I enjoyed it overall, mate. I enjoyed it overall. A couple of weird booking decisions, I think.
Yeah,
especially on night 2.
Yeah, the Roman Reigns and Cody match is going to get a lot of grief, I think. I'm not that mad about the booking of it, because I did predict that he would hold it for at least another year till we get the Roman versus The Rock. But the whole story of Cody finishing his story and all the links with Dusty Rhodes, yeah, this swerved us.
Yes, indeed. But we better get on, Magsy. We better get on.
Yeah. We've got it's a busy show.
So much to cover. Oh, dear me. A lot going on this week here on Chain Wrestling Live. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever and whenever you may be listening or watching from. This is Chain Wrestling Live with Mags and Si, an SJP World Media production. It's Gillberg Appreciation Night.
I mean, what better? What better after WrestleMania 39 than appreciating one of the unsung heroes of the Attitude Era, Dwayne Gillberg.
I am Si, and with me, as always, is the Dwayne Gill to my happy pill, and God knows I'm going to need some of those this week. The Gillberg to my one listener in Luxembourg, Magsy. We're branching out.
Wow.
Branching out. Don't actually look it up yourself, though, because that listener doesn't exist. I use that country just because it rhymes with Gillberg. A podcaster that is totally at fault for all of this week's ridiculous Dwayne Gill bullshit. Mr. Mags, how have you been?
I'm good. I've been waiting for this episode for months.
Okay, if you say so. I know people in the chat are saying they've been, wow. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't want to disappoint the CWF, mate. I don't want to disappoint the CWF. And people in the chat have been talking about how excited they are about this episode. Who has joined us early doors, Mr. Magsy?
So we have got King's Pig's Bladder. How are you today? Cam, Cam, you have done this, first of all. This is all you, Cam. Cam, quick put a tape in the machine and press record. It's about to start. And then he has a go at Mark Gillberg picture, which I find just shocking. Cam, honestly, I am so excited. Had a shockingly shit day at work. So this is just what I need. And that's what we aim to do. We might hit this with every fibre of our being, but we give you what you want, unfortunately. And we'll suffer so you don't have to. Cam said, shame the youngest is still going nuts and isn't asleep yet. May have to miss the first 10. Nope. Sleeper hold. Just put her out and she'll be fine. So
Imagine you're Gillberg applying a sleep.
Jesus. Cam says she's on the cusp of going to sleep, can't have the excitement of Gillberg rebounds. Well, this is it. Like dad, like daughter. Jesus Christ. Finally, we get there. Sharon, it's Monday night, and you know what that means. And Sharon gained lots of love. Dan Griffin, evening, folks. Is it morning? Is it Monday? WrestleMania weekend has broken his brain. Yeah, and I've seen Dan's timeline, and he watched a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Oh, yes.
A lot of wrestling.
Lot. Yes.
Cam says Gillberg will be proud of that entrance. Yeah, the only thing we needed was more fire extinguishers, I think, and sparklers. and a Gillberg sign on the men's toilet door. That's brilliant. King's Pigs Banner says it's April, he knows that much. And then we have Dan Kane in the building as well. Gillberg time, evening CWF. Connor saying hello, gentleman. So only mentioning you, I think.
Yeah, that's about right, mate.
Yeah. Gam says you need to line up the bottom of your faces to meet the Gillberg at the tops. I can't. You don't look any different. You look like Braun Strowman. You actually look a bit like Braun Strowman then. Dan Griffin mocking the poor Cody Rhodes. Just disgusting, Dan. I don't know. You can sit there with yourself. The 3-star general Cody Rhodes. I mean, America personified. Dan, have a bit of respect, sir. Scottish Danny, Gillberg's streak is bigger than Goldberg's streak. Yeah, well, I think we're getting a bit overboard now on the Gillberg love. I'm feeling a little bit like we've killed it. I heard that WWE sold due to the endeavor of wanting to own the Gillberg. Yeah.
All 17 minutes of it.
I mean, that covers his whole, 15-year career with the company. Dan Griffin, it's Gillberg time. Gillberg deserves better, Mags. I mean, sorry, I am not a Photoshop artist. I know I make it look good every week, but I am an amateur at this.
I think it looks good, Magsy. I think it looks good.
And Dan says he finished off show 14 of the weekend. Jesus, Dan, you are committed, sir. But
I'd be all wrestled out, mate.
You would. That is the chat all caught up.
Awesome stuff. So then, I suppose, seeing as it is Gillberg Appreciation Night, we better get on with our first segment of the show. It's Mags versus Cy with a special topic.
It's not today.
Is it not?
I'm calling an audible.
Okay.
We're going to this section.
People, tick alert!
Oh, a teeny weeny.
Oh,
we've not had one of these for a long, long time. But over WrestleMania weekend, somebody showed their whole ass to the wrestling world. So at WrestleCon, which is one of those events that spring up around WrestleMania, that whole kind of wrestling macro economy, a wrestler called Giselle Shaw. She's an Impact star. She said that Rick Steiner of the Steiner Brothers called her some horrific names in basically in front of the public, in front of other wrestlers. Now, for those who don't know, Giselle Shaw is transgender, and Rick. She heard somebody shouting in the background while she was doing her appearance at WrestleCon, calling her a dude, calling her filth, a piece of trash, told her to get the fuck away. She then went to find who it was, and it turns out it was Rick Steiner. Repeated the same words to her face. And then as Giselle Shaw looked round for people to help, a lot of other wrestlers were avoiding eye contact, looking away, pretending they didn't hear. Basically, back to pre hashtag Me Too, pre the speaking out of Club for the Boys. This poor woman was absolutely abused. Luckily, social media is an amazing tool for justice and for reactions. And Rick Steiner was removed from the rest of his appearances at WrestleCon and a lot of his appearances during WrestleMania weekend. And some big name wrestlers came out in support of Giselle, including Chris Jericho, who tweeted that Rick had done similar things to him when he was in WCW, that he'd always been a bully. And it's just sad that in the year 2023, we have still got this mindset from wrestlers that they can go around and just absolutely abuse people for no reason whatsoever. Have they not learned that wrestling is for everyone? So yeah, this week we have to put Rick Steiner in as a pimple dick.
100%. I did think about doing, as you just said, Maxie, bringing that segment up with regards to Rick Steiner. But then I thought I don't really want to give the guy any airtime. I don't want to mention his name. But I'm glad you have. Now, Giselle Shaw, me, Sharon, and my family have met a couple of times. She has wrestled for Evolution Wrestling down here in Gloucester. And I cannot put forward a nicer person to meet. She was absolutely fantastic. So pleasant with all of us. I got a lovely picture of Giselle with my mum and my youngest daughter as well. Absolutely superb and a brilliant talent as well.
Yeah.
Now, as you have said, wrestling is for everyone. There should be no exclusions for whatever reason. And as far as I'm concerned, it's your life. You only get one. You live it how you please. Whatever makes you comfortable, you happy, go for it. That's life. That's the way it should be. To be judged, called out, and abused in any setting, but it's in a public setting like that as well, is just downright disgusting. And yeah, Rick Steiner, you are an absolute piece of shit. All the people online, all the people on Twitter saying, well, I don't know. I mean, we're in this day. I mean, there's one fucking idiot tweeting all the time saying, well, in this day and age of modern technology, why haven't we got any audio or video footage? Where's the proof? I'm not believing this until we see it.
That's a statement that grinds me when people say, can you prove it?
Shitbag, pimple dick, ass piece. You know, it's this. And now actually a TNA, Impact, as it's called now, referee has stepped forward and said, I was there. I saw it. Here's your proof. I'm a witness. And we've had a few other people come forward on social media as well and say, I've said this as well. You know, I've been there and you know, I was there, I was a witness and so on. So that's good. But the fact that Giselle Shaw was having her integrity questioned when you've got somebody who effectively is a dinosaur in the business, let's be honest. And I also think he wasn't massively relevant even in the peak of his career. You know, Scott was the one with the charisma. Scott was the one with the ability. Rick Steiner was a great wrestler, don't get me wrong. But, you know, you talk about the Steiner brothers, everyone thinks of Scott. You know, it's just like, why on earth would Giselle Shaw, to all those people saying, where's the proof? Why would she make that up?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why would she make that up? And if she's doing it for clout or doing it to get attention, why the fuck would she pick Rick Steiner? He wasn't relevant 20 fucking or 30 fucking years ago. Never mind now. So yeah, absolutely get in the bin, you absolute disgusting piece of shit, Rick Steiner.
Yeah, and the people who heard and saw what happened and did nothing to put Rick in his place. This
Exactly.
needs to stop. And as Connor says, it's not just in wrestling; it's all over the world, all over the society. This kind of bullshit needs to stop. If you see somebody being abused like this, call them out. Absolutely call them out, because it's scummy. It's absolutely scummy. And this guy, Rick Steiner, is on the board of his kid's school.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. What a horrible mindset to have in this day and age. Just people struggle enough to be happy at the best of times. And you've got ass clowns like this showing their fucking arsehole. Yeah, they're just, what a knob. What a knob.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And no wrong, she probably won't ever hear this, but Giselle Shaw know that chain wrestling and everyone associated with it is fully behind you. And fuck Rick Steiner. He's a piece of, beep it. Well, I say beep it. It's me that does the editing later on. I'll beep it myself. Bloke's a cunt. Whoop, C-bomb. Should we get Sharon involved? Quizmaster Sharon.
I was expecting entrance music, and it
You're
didn't
going to get some
happen.
entrance music. I just wanted to see if you wanted to chip in on this. Rick Steiner is a dickhead.
I'm with Si. We've met Giselle Shaw a few times with the kids at the local wrestling shows. She's been nothing but kind. She is amazing with the kids. Our kids don't like having their pictures taken because they're typical kids. She's always managed to get a picture with them.
Oh, that's amazing.
So from our point of view, from our house, you know, I mean, it goes without saying we're 100% behind her and we support her in every which way.
Absolutely. Right. Now, with that being said, let's draw a line under it. Rick Steiner, you are a douche. Time to quiz about Gillberg.
Mags.
Soy.
Mags.
Soy.
Mags B-side.
Oh, good lord.
Moo indeed.
That audio.
And seeing as Mags v Side drops on Gillberg Appreciation Night, we have a specialist subject, Magsy, don't we? Which I'm amazed. I'm amazed it's never popped up on Mastermind. I really am.
So for a little bit of a peek behind the curtains, we send our questions to Sharon for her to read out. And I actually wrote more questions than I should have, because I thought there was going to at least be some crossover, because there's not a lot about Gillberg's career to pick at. There's not a lot of meat on those bones. But Sharon said there was no crossover questions whatsoever. So between us, we covered 10 questions. That is amazing.
Yes. Also, it was incredibly difficult to do. And I realized that I know nothing about Gillberg, even though it seems there's not much to know. So I imagine I'm going to get trounced here. But there we go. Quizmaster Sharon, your Gillberg questions, if you will, please.
I shall start asking Simon's question to Mr. Mags.
Oh, brilliant.
Mr. Mags, question 1. What the hell does that say? Does that say
I don't know.
Gill?
Is that the answer? I'll take that as an answer. I don't know.
Dwayne Gill, yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
Right, okay. You're right in shocking. Dwayne Gill won the light heavyweight title in which state?
Oh. A state of ecstasy, I would have said.
That's correct, I suppose. He would have been very happy.
I mean, I have absolutely no clue. This is going to be a proper punt. I'm going to go with Pennsylvania.
Incorrect.
Has
answer-
Sarah written the questions in crayon again?
It's shocking. I know where Charlie gets it from now. The answer is Ohio.
Okay, fair play.
See,
I
I was
would
really
never have
scraping
got
the
that.
barrel trying to find these questions.
I thought Mags was going to have this because of the research he did and the lack of effort you put in. So
Brilliant.
sorry. Mr. Simon,
Hello.
Gillberg is the longest reigning light heavyweight champion in company history, defending the title around the world. But how many different companies outside of the WWF did Gillberg defend the title in?
I've got no idea. So this is literally just going to be grabbing at anything. He held it for over a year. 6.
So close.
I dropped a little bit then. Yeah, 7.
Oh,
Max has put all the abbreviations in, which I know what none of them stand for.
okay.
So I think it's Maryland Championship Wrestling, Mid East Wrestling Federation, I think, and then the last one is Juggalo. It did wrestle for the RCP one, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, but I don't know the
And he's
others.
a president of that, isn't he?
Interesting. Mr. Mags.
Hello.
Essa Rios ended Gillberg's long light heavyweight title reign, but who ended Rio's 1 month reign?
I mean, it's likely it went back to Christian, but then is it? Yeah, I'm going to go with Christian.
You are incorrect.
Oh,
The answer is Dean Malenko.
I mean, it's obvious now you say it.
Mr. Simon.
Yes.
Gillberg defended the WWF light heavyweight title 16 times during his reign. With a 10-second leeway, how long was the longest recorded match time?
With a 10-second leeway. I don't think he's ever gone over 2 minutes, does he? I'll say 2 minutes.
You are heavily incorrect.
Oh, okay.
There's so much I could say there, but I won't.
Yeah.
The answer is 7 minutes and 57 seconds.
It went over
okay.
2 minutes against Triple H in a match you literally watched.
Yeah, but that wasn't for his title, was it?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I mean, Triple H doesn't qualify as a light heavyweight, surely.
I mean, does Gillberg qualify as a heavyweight?
Yeah, fair point.
Mr. Mags, where was Gillberg billed from when wrestling as Terry Turtle?
Oh, so that's when he was the Ninja Turtles. Now, it could be New York, or it could be the sewers.
The sewers.
I'm going to go with New York for some reason. Yeah,
You are
I think
incorrect. Sorry. I got a bit excited. The answer is Tarrytown, Texas.
Is that a real place?
I think so, yeah.
I've got a clue.
Wow.
Well, I thought it was such a silly name. Tarrytown. Apologies to anyone listening who's from
It
Tarrytown.
definitely sounds made up.
It does. We're not very good at this, Mags, are we?
I know we're not appreciating Gillberg very well.
We're not at all. We're not at all. We apologise, Dwayne.
Mr. Simon,
Yes.
Gillberg's last WWE appearance was in January 2001, But what other superstar was parodied in the segment Gillberg appeared in?
Ooh. Oh, do you know what? I read this earlier. Oh my God. I can't. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass.
No guesses?
I can't. No, I can't even think. Go on.
The answer is Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
It was on a segment with the Miz and Morrison.
Okay. Right.
Mr. Max.
Hello.
Gillberg actually won a match on Raw in February 1999, beating Goldust. But who interfered to help Gillberg win?
Oh, around that time, you would have thought the Job Squad. 1 second.
Maxie dealing with an invader.
I've got a room invader. Come here. In fact, come here. Look who's invading.
Do you know, little one, who interfered in? Hello.
He's there. Right, can you go out? She's being accosted.
I bet you've WhatsApped her and she's just bought you the answer on a bit of card.
On a piece of paper. So it was gold dust, did you say, the match?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna say the Job Squad.
Oh, it's one specific guy.
Okay, then Bob Holly.
Oh, you are incorrect. The answer is the Blue Meanie.
Part of the Job Squad. That was so close.
Yeah, you should have half a point for that, maybe. What do you reckon, Quizmaster Sharon?
I mean, I don't know because I didn't know he was in the Job Squad. So
I mean, that half point may be critical.
It may be crucial at this point in this tense contest.
Dan Griffin, I wouldn't put it past Mags to enlist child labour to win. If she'd have known the answer, she'd have been in here a long time before now.
Mr. Simon.
Yes.
Gillberg's last physicality in the WWE took place in February 2017. Who kicked his ass?
2017. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. 20. I'm gonna have to say Goldberg, but I think that was much earlier.
You are incorrect. The answer is Kevin Owens during the Festival of Friendship.
Oh my god, of course. Oh, this is Magsy. You can put it out of the bag now. You could get this question right.
I know.
It's sudden death,
clean sweep
to stop us ending in a 0-0 draw this week.
I hope you play some tense music in the background.
I do. I can't do it on YouTube because we'll get done for copyright.
Mr. Mags.
Go on.
Who was Gill's last opponent before retiring in 2020?
Oof. Was it his mate? I'm thinking he had a friend called, was it Barry Hardy? I'm going to go with him, Barry Hardy.
You are incorrect. The answer is James Ellsworth.
Oh, Mr. No Chin.
Mr. No Chin, indeed, yes. Barry Hardy was the other Ninja Turtle, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fifth and final question for you, Mr. Simon.
Oh,
this has been excruciating.
Tension.
Gillberg's last match for the WWE was in December 2007 in the Raw 15th Anniversary Battle Royale, featuring notable gimmicks from previous years of Raw. Gillberg was eliminated by pretty much everyone, but who was eliminated just after him?
Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I did, and
Did
it's
you?
crap.
Oh my goodness, I think we're going to end up here very much with a 0-0 draw, mate. I don't. What was the year again, Sharon? Sorry,
2007.
but it's all old gimmicks, is it? One of the Bushwhackers.
Incorrect. The
Oh,
answer is Bob Backlund.
oh really? But why? Okay.
Yeah. They basically, Gillberg was the last person out, and the whole of the gimmicks just picked him up and threw him out the ring, and then Bob got eliminated seconds later.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go.
So
A 0-0 draw.
on Gillberg Appreciation Night, we got 0 out of 10.
That was painful.
That was
like watching Gillberg matches.
Oh yeah, you'll get Cam Griffin all upset. But there we go, 0-0, a draw. So what are you winning, Magsy? 3-1, I think it is, isn't it to you?
3-1-1 now.
3-1-1. Oh dear me. Sharon, thank you so much for taking a chunk of your evening to officiate this fucking nonsense.
No, we massively appreciate you taking the time to listen to us not know anything about the person we are basically meant to be appreciating.
That was embarrassing, let's be fair. Sharon, thank you so much. It was awesome. Is there anything you want to plug quickly, get people to follow or anything like that before you depart?
No.
Okay.
I'm off to finish Married at First Sight.
Fair enough. Go and enjoy your program, my love. We'll see you in the chat shortly.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Shah.
Oh, that was grim.
We were rubbish, mate. We were rubbish.
Do you think you could get the 2 extra questions that I threw in?
Potentially. I can ask.
Okay, so we'll have a quick go.
Okay.
Dwayne Gill wrestled more than half of his career matches in the WWF, which was 166 out of 327.
Okay.
How many of those matches, those 166, did he actually win?
166 in the WWF. How many did he win?
Yeah.
3.
He won 12 matches.
Oh my God, really?
Yep. And then the last one, Dwayne used the Gillberg gimmick in the WWE and on the indie scene. So with a leeway of 2%, how many of those matches did Gillberg actually win? So as a percentage.
I will say 9%.
Now, taking his WWE matches alone, he won 1.8%.
Okay.
Taking all of his matches as Gillberg, including on the indies, he won 66%.
How crap are the Indies around by where he lives?
He won 73 out of 110 matches as Gillberg.
What a legend. We should put more respect on this guy's name.
That's like John Cena, Undertaker, Ric Flair percentage points.
It is. We should listen to Cam Griffin a long time ago.
We should. This will be the last time I ever listen to Cam Griffin picks.
Speaking of Cam Griffin, should we have a quick scan through the chat, my friend, before we get on to our non-wrestling topic and the only part of the show, I suppose, that is our non-Gillberg topic.
Yeah, thank the Lord. Ironically, Cam is right at the end of the comments. He hasn't commented once, but Dan Griffin says he's watched about 35 hours of wrestling. He must be insane. And then he thought he was the pimple dick for mocking the Poundland Homelander. But lots of people are absolutely agreeing with us that Rick Steiner is a fucking piece of shit for what he did. Connor telling people about how he's had to put up with some name calls and some grief over the last few months. and thankfully the CWF banded round him and said that they're sorry that he had to put up with it. And people are dickheads. They are, unfortunately. And it's sad that 2 years after speaking out, we're still having issues like this. And Dan said the Wankstains who said, what about Rick's freedom of speech can fuck off and all. Abuse is not free speech. And if your free speech is harmful to others, it's not free speech, it is hate speech. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Sarah written these questions in crayon. Ohio represent there. Kind of happy with the Ohio. Dan, I wouldn't put it past Max to enlist child labour to win. Well, I didn't. And if she got it wrong anyway, so that's her on gruel for the next week.
Gruel.
Dan Griffin saying he doesn't remember Gillberg being in the Festival of Friendship segment at all. Yeah, it was in the lead up for Kevin Owens versus Goldberg, I think, wasn't it?
Okay, right.
And Jericho brought Gillberg out for Kevin Owens to face, and he just stunned him and kicked the shit out of him. Dan Griffin says that's Mr. No Chin Nonce, James Ellsworth. Yep, absolutely. What a scumbag of it. Can you imagine that being a retirement match and it's that knobhead? Jesus. This match was a 0-0 with no shots on goal. Oh, this was defensive. We went super defensive. Mini Mags appreciating Gillberg as well. Exactly. She had to do a running on a Gillberg episode. It was always going to happen. Gillberg is the West Brom of wrestling. Not good enough for the big leagues, but too good for the second tier. Exactly. The guy was underappreciated in his time.
Okay, if you say so. Shall we move on with our non-wrestling topic then, Magsy?
It's almost like you don't want to talk any Gillberg anymore.
We're 37 minutes into the show. I think we've spoken enough Gillberg for now, and I know we're coming back to 4 whole matches.
You want a palate cleanser, do you?
Yes.
NWT time. Oh, no wrestling talk here. It's the non-wrestling topic.
Lovely. Nice. Lovely. Nice. Ooh, lovely. Lovely.
So then. Cam Griffin in the chat. I'm not feeling the appreciation of Gillberg, so I will try much, much harder when we get round to his glittering 4 WWE matches selected for us to talk about later. But yes, there we go. Our non-wrestling topic this week is a continuation, but I suppose the opposite of what we did last week. Last week, we looked at things that you thought were going to be a brilliant bargain, but ended up to be crap. This week, we're looking at brilliant bargains. Things you picked up for virtually no money, and they've completely exceeded your expectations. And we had quite a few messaging into the show once again, Mags, didn't we?
We did. Just like last week, we had people who wasted the money. We've also got the same people who love a bargain.
Exactly. Worth the gamble sometimes. I will read them out in the rough order they came into us. And we start with Rob at UTT Rob on Twitter. He says, paid £250 per year for my town season ticket for about 7 seasons. That's Huddersfield Town he supports, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That includes promotion season, 2 years in the Premier League, and a playoff season. As always at Tyne, it's a complete roller coaster. Considering some championship teams charge £650, it's been an absolute bargain. I bet.
Yeah. That's quality. That's absolute quality.
Yeah, you tend to find as well when clubs get promoted, their prices might go up. Yep. But when they get relegated, they don't go back down.
Oh no, it's the typical prices rise like a balloon and drop like a feather.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
That's a
Danny,
great bargain, though. That is
it is
cracking.
250. You think about it, how many home games a season you're getting? 20?
Well, yeah. 23 in the championship.
23. So that's 2
plus
per game.
Plus your cup games. Yeah.
Well, that is really good. Danny at Scottish Juggalo. I'll tell you what, actually, sorry, forget that one. I think that's cheaper than Gloucester City, you know.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay. At Scottish Juggalo on Twitter. He says, managed to get the entire series of Bad Girls on DVD for £7 in CEX. Could hardly believe it. Bad Girls. That just sounds like a dirty movie.
I mean, it probably is somewhere, but it was the prison show, kind of like a British version of Prisoner Cell Block H. It had
okay.
Shirley from EastEnders was like the main character, but obviously not Shirley from EastEnders. She played somebody else. Yeah, that was a cracking show. And £7, dirt cheap.
£7. Wow. Danny, you got the DVDs there, mate. You know, you want to start podcasting about it? I know a network that'll carry that show. Dan Griffin at Dan Griffin 21 on Twitter. He says, I went to see Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko fight for the IBF, WBA, and IBO heavyweight titles in Wembley in a box with free food and as much free booze as I could drink for $3. Best bargain of my life. That is superb, isn't it?
I feel he's mentioned this multiple times now.
Yeah. And I normally follow it up by saying I saw Iron Maiden in a very similar way. 3 tickets, free, you know, the box and all that, and all the booze and food included. Yeah, absolutely superb.
And I got to see Bolton Wanderers versus Blackburn Rovers for free as well.
It's not quite the same, is it?
It's not. One of these things are slightly different.
It is. Glenn Abbott, DDT Bestie, it says here, at GA WrestleNet, sorry, on Twitter.
WrestleNet.
Yeah, so I just started reading that as a word, and I was going to go at GA WrestleNet, which isn't the same thing at all. No. But there we go. At GA WrestleNet, Glenn Abbott, our friend here, once bought a box of records from a guy that was giving up DJing for £10. And there was a rare Rod Stewart in it that I sold for £100. Amazing.
I mean, what DJ has Rod Stewart in his arsenal?
Well, you always, you know, bit of backup. You never know when you want a bit of the old Rod, do you? Or so I've heard. Who were misses?
I guess, I suppose. It's not a. I mean, the fact that you got it for the whole box for £10 and then sold that one on for a $1, that is a bargain. I mean,
yeah, definitely,
no doubt about it.
I don't tend to do it so much anymore because it just don't tend to happen. But because vinyl's back in favor.
Oh, it's cool now again.
Yeah, that's it. And there's a few vinyl shops popping up in Gloucester now, and people are selling like records for like ridiculous amounts of money just because it's cool and they got pretty lighting outside their shop and so on. Before it became popular again, I used to look around all the charity shops and just seeing who's ditched all their music this week. And sometimes you'd find absolute nonsense. There was always a lot of Engelbert Humperdinck. A lot.
In Gloucester?
Yeah.
It's big in Gloucester.
He must have been, mate. He must have been. But every now and again, it'd be like, oh, some aging rocker or some metalhead has decided to get rid of their LPs because you just find a random like 20 albums there for like, you know, 50p each or something like that. Brilliant stuff.
And you bought them all?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, totally.
And now you're flogging them for £100 a pop.
I wish. The Villain King, our great friend at officialab_POS. They say, went to a yard sale. I was deep in loans and credit card debt and would find retro video games and such to resell on eBay. Went to one and found nothing but halfway back to my car. I turned to look back and saw something in a milk crate. Vectrex with 13 games. Bought for $10, sold for $285. Why?
Banging sale.
What's a Vectrex?
It's a ye olde style of console.
Okay.
Like
I've never heard of that before.
Pre like Mega Drive, way before then. Kind of like almost like the Atari era.
Okay, yeah. Nice. $285. Bloody hell. That is good going. 13 games as well.
Yeah.
Connor Knows Soccer at Connor Knows Footy on Twitter. He says, and has included a couple of pictures here as well. Bought this season, he's sucking up to you again, Magsy. He's creeping.
And I love it. And I love it.
Never see Connor in a Gloucester City shirt, do you? No.
I don't think you could get them in Ohio.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Bought this season's Burnley home shirt on sale from Classic Football Shirts. The original price was £50 and he's paid $61. The sale price was $30, plus a $5 tax and $8 international shipping fee. Comes to a total of $40 for a normal $80 to $90 shirt. Glad to have it in my collection.
You can't even get them in Burnley at that price.
No?
No. So he's a cracking deal. Yeah, it's like 60 quid shirt here in Burnley.
Bloody hell, that's ridiculous.
And doesn't it look good on him as well?
It does. It does. What are your thoughts, Magsy, on wearing different clubs' shirts?
I mean, we have slightly touched on this before. I'm not a massive fan of it. I know it's a popular thing now to have a lot of retro kind of kits from other clubs, which I get. But then that's two-faced to me because I bought the reversible Man United shirt because it looked absolutely amazing. So I'm not massively for it, but I understand it because there is some pretty smart looking football shirts.
I suppose different countries as well. Different
foreign clubs are a lot less of an issue, but going around and wearing different like English clubs, that's not for me.
Yeah, I don't like either. There we go. Steve-O, it's that time of the week again. At Total Steve-O on Twitter. He says here, I've had a pair of hair clippers I use for my facial hair since age of 15. 20 years later, and I still use them. They're fantastic. My mum, for Christmas, around 10 years ago, got me a body shaver from Lidl. Again, still use it. Okay. Good stuff.
Amazing.
No, yeah, that's lasted. That's lasted.
It's frugal. It's
you don't mind paying a bit more over the odds either, do you? If it's going to last you that long, because you're saving money in the long run, aren't you?
Yeah, my head clippers, I think we paid maybe about 50 quid, and I've had them a decade. Wireless, still holds loads of charge. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get what you pay for, and it can still be an absolute bargain because of how much use you get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think we have more from Steve-O, but I'm not 100% sure if I've got it. So I'll wait to the end and see if I've missed it. But yes.
I don't think that we have. That's the only one I saw.
Okay, in that case, then I've not missed anything, which is good. We have here Fox Grapple Arcade at Grapple Arcade on Twitter. They say, typically, all mine are wrestling themed. Oh, apart from newspaper listing in 2004, picked up a Mega Drive, 4 controllers, big joypad, and 45 games for 35 quid. Bloody hell.
That's cracking. That's
amazing.
Cracking.
I bought a weight bench off him too, but he stung me on that. Swings and roundabouts.
That's where he got his money back. That's where he's absolutely got his money back. Now, that's one thing. I always get weary of buying secondhand stuff out of a newspaper. Things like that. I think I've probably been stung a couple of times with stuff that haven't lived up to expectations from buying from like your local paper.
Right. Okay.
So he's a braver man than me.
Yeah, but still, mate, 45 games, all those controllers. The Mega Drive was a class as well, weren't they?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was so good. So good.
Loved the Mega Drive. At Good Bad Wrestle on Twitter, Good Cop, Bad Cop Wrestling a podcast. They say this one is pretty good, and we have a picture of Vince McMahon buying the WWF in 1982 for $1 million, and now selling it reportedly for $9.3 billion.
That's, I mean, to be fair, I think Endeavour have got a bit of a bargain as well, because they will make that money back in spades with the WWE. We've not really touched upon it yet.
No, I was about to ask, Maxie, where do you think this goes now then? Because Vince McMahon apparently is going to be an executive still.
Mm-hmm.
There's talk about pay-per-views going back to being actual pay-per-views as opposed to on the network.
Okay.
The network is now, in America at least, owned by Peacock, isn't it?
No, it is leased by Peacock.
Leased by Peacock. Okay. Mm-hmm. So where does that leave the WWE as a business?
Okay, so at least until 2026, I believe. the Peacock deal would still be in place. So in terms of losing pay-per-views and losing access to the content, at least in America, that's an issue that they don't really need to worry about. I mean, 2026 will come quickly, don't get me wrong. Now, in terms of the UK, it's going to be a little bit more harder to see where the WWE or Endeavour go with this, because we still have the network, which is run by WWE. So that could easily be closed up and enveloped with the UFC's Fight Pass service. Now, the issue would be that we would then potentially lose a lot of network content, and then lose access to the premium live events. Now, UFC, they love charging a premium for their UFC events. The prices of the numbered pay-per-views in the US are around $100 for the UK. Well, for the 4K version, but here in the UK, the UFC have a deal with BT Sport. So a lot of the events are free, and they're including your package.
Yes,
but they have the right to reserve big events and hold them back for basically a second kind of double dip into people's pockets and charge pay-per-view prices. So for your likes of Conor McGregor, John Jones, all big stars, if they're on pay-per-view, it's likely that in Britain you would have to pay for that. I think the UFC deal with BT runs out at the end of next year. I think, ironically as well, that's when the WWE contract runs out as well. So I'm sure Endeavour will be working to get those broadcastings. My worry would in the interim would be, are we going to lose WWE Network access? Because I feel that we'll go back to an old pay-per-view model.
Yeah,
which, I mean, it's grim, and this kind of ties into our topic, because as much as you can dislike the WWE, $9.99 for all the content that they provide on the network per month is a huge bargain. It's absolutely massive.
Well, that was going to be my when at the end of us running through, that was going to be my bargain, was the network, because I get so much use out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So to see that potentially go away is a worry. But if it is enveloped in with Fight Pass and they keep all of the content, then it may become an even more of a bargain. Especially for me, it'll save me a subscription. But the deal apparently won't be finalised till near the end of the year. So I'm sure between now and then more details will come out. And to be fair to Endeavour, when they bought the UFC, there was a lot of suspicion that they'd overpaid, and the content that has come out since Endeavour took over, the quality has been way better in terms of production, in terms of amount, so much more content. The issue is Vince McMahon sneaking his way back under the table. With the UFC, Endeavour don't seem to have an issue letting Dana White have free reign, even when things in his own personal life aren't exactly respectable. I mean, there was the whole New Year's Day party where he slapped his wife, and he faced zero repercussions about it whatsoever. So I don't think any kind of Vince McMahon sex scandals would faze them whatsoever, and clearly not, because part of the deal was to keep Vince McMahon involved. He was to Endeavour the face of wrestling. So that's a massive issue that we're going to go back to the days of Vince at the helm, because the majority of the wrestling world have enjoyed WWE under Triple H way more than they've enjoyed recent WWE under Vince McMahon. So,
yes, indeed. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Going to be interesting. There's also I suppose, the extra spanner in the works of BT as well. BT Sport has been bought up by somebody as well, hasn't it? Is it ESPN?
I think they were in talks. I don't know if the deal has gone through. I'm going to look that up, but I know that they're in talks for BT Sports. I think it was DAZN that was actually buying BT Sports.
Okay.
But yeah, that kind of went quiet. Oh, I'm not showing it on the screen. That's amazing.
Don't be putting your search history up there, mate.
Exactly. I want people knowing about that midget porn.
Dwayne Gill naked is your Google.
But yeah, I think the BT Sports thing was DAZN. But it has gone a little bit quiet, off the boil a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in this, and it's going to be a nervous time to be a wrestling fan and also a wrestling content creator, because we rely heavily on the network to be as it is for this show. So, we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah. So you say you've got till the end of the year, you think, before it goes through?
Yeah. Well, after dotting all the T's and crossing all the I's, it's going to be at the end of the year.
So just to be on the safe side then, with regards to content creating and so on, Scottish Danny cancelled all plans between now and Christmas. We've got a lot of WCW to watch, my friend.
Jesus. So you mentioned about BT, and it was DAZN, but apparently now Warner Brothers have closed a transaction to buy up the BT group.
Okay.
So they're now going to be called from next year Sports Joint Venture. So
interesting times, pal. Interesting times.
Interesting, scary times. For people who don't like change, that's very, very scary.
Well, that would be me. So, Doctor Who is now on ITVX. That blew my mind. Trying to sort that out.
BBC show on ITVX
via BritBox still, but you got to subscribe to the other one and go. Oh, mate, it's been a turbulent time in the Power household with that. That's blown my little head. Does
adverts during Doctor Who?
I don't sound like that. At Pigs Bladders on Twitter, he says, for the best bargains or deals, I get on a regular basis when I'm on shift. Got a cheap whole chicken yesterday. Sunday dinner was lovely. Last week, massive £5 pizza for just over £1. We can take home the out-of-date flowers, so I earn some brownie points. Fantastic.
I mean, the joys of working in retail. I mean, a cheap chicken just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Lovely. He continues here, Pigs Brothers. When you do your online shop and they price match the substitutes, I'm a right tightwad, so I don't go for brand names on most things. But when you get a 3 upgrade, it's awesome. Like traveling by bus to town and you get told to use the helicopter instead.
I mean, a little bit of a stretch, but yeah, I love the substitutions. Until they substitute it with something that is not even the same thing whatsoever.
Like really weird alien. Yeah.
Like you'll get a pack of bananas. Oh, we had no bananas, so we brought you this block of cheese. You think, not really what I wanted, but anyway.
We had it from Iceland, mate. We had they do like the £1 pizzas, and they're great for the kids. Just chuck them in the oven and whatnot, you know. I bought a bloody load of them, just stuck up the freezer. They didn't have any, so they sent the restaurante jobs instead.
Oh,
I was like, look at this.
Is that the Dr. Urker ones?
Yeah, they're proper good, man. Proper good. But then the other side of the coin, we have Branston's beans here. Sharon won't have anything else, and the kids don't like anything else, so it's always Branston. They ran out of Branston beans. They sent Heinz. Now, I was all right with that, but everyone else was like, what is this shit?
I can't stand Hans beans. Cannot stand them. Yeah, I'd rather have no beans than Hans beans.
Yeah, Sharon's the same. I think. Bit of pepper in it, mate. Doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, it's so sweet. They taste like they've got syrup in them.
Okay. To be fair, I've not had them for ages, so who knows?
Fair enough.
Millwall Chris at Millwall Chris 1 on Twitter. He says the WrestleMania watch along that I just went to was a bit of a touch. 3 booze, 3 food, 3 WrestleMania merchandise. Winner, winner. Also went to Anthony Joshua's first title defense against Dominic Breazeale. Is that how you say that?
Breazeale, I think.
Yep. In a box at the O2 for 3. Booze and food included. Oh, the O2 is where I went for Maiden. So, yeah, I can go along with that. But that WrestleMania watch along, I've never done anything like that, Mags, where you've had like a big party or go
He had a quiz as well. He tried cheating at the quiz by asking in a group chat the answers.
Did he?
I think the question was something like, who won the first ever match at WrestleMania?
Tito Santana?
I think that was the answer, but our group, as they are, were bastards, and we're like putting Doink the Clown,
Coco Beware, Gillberg. We have here Cam at CamGriff92 on Twitter. Got tickets to John Legend at the O2 through Sky Rewards just by entering the draw to win.
I never win anything like that. Never.
I won tickets to, I can't even tell you the name of the band, but I won tickets to see a band through Planet Rock Radio. But I entered via text at work because it was playing in the work radio in the factory. There's lots of noise. And I misheard who the band was. And I thought, amazing. I'm going to enter that, send the text off. 2 days later, I got an email saying you've won. And it was a completely different band. And I misheard the name of them. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to go see them. So I sent it back.
Said, nah.
Yeah, I'm working that night, mate. Sorry. Cam says, fortunate enough for a few sporting events too. England v New Zealand sticks out as I've always wanted to see the haka. Shame the England fans were knobs and booed the whole time. What are your thoughts on the haka, Magsy? Are you a rugby fan, first of all?
I'm not a massive rugby fan, like international tournaments and things like that. But yeah, the haka is impressive, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to choose my words very carefully now so as not to offend any rugby fans or piss my wife off or anyone from New Zealand for that matter, or the other countries that do it. I think like Samoa have one and stuff like that, don't they? I just think, it's a bit shit when you're the other team and you're expected to stand there and just sort of let them go through it all. And I think
that's the point.
Is it
to intimidate? Yeah.
Is it intimidating?
I mean, a lot of like 15 massive blokes like slapping the thighs and waving their arms at you and then stomping forward. If I was a rugby player, that's not the bit I would find intimidating, because you're stood in a line with all your mates and then they stand in a line over there doing what they're doing and all that, right? And there's a good 20 yards between you or whatever it may well be. And that's kind of how it stays. The intimidating bit for me is when the referee blows the whistle and those big bastards are running towards you. That would be intimidating. Yeah, on a different level. But knowing that 15 blokes are doing a war dance before kickoff, that'd make you poo a little bit, surely.
Yeah, I suppose. It's an advert anyway, isn't it? It's marketing. It is. Marketing New Zealand shampoo, isn't it? They go, Timothy, clean your hair more, like that. That's what they do. The thoughts and comments of Southall do not represent all of us here at Chain Wrestling. You're going to get Gary Lineker in a minute. I'm going to be here presenting it with Jermaine Genius or Ali Shearer. No, I get it, mate. I get it. Do you know what I don't like as well? when we're on the topic of New Zealand and sport and all that, yeah, that the New Zealand football team wear all white. Because even though I'm not a rugby, yeah, I know, but because I don't follow rugby, but I know New Zealand as the All Blacks and all that, I kind of want the football team to wear the same colour.
Oh, do you, as a native of not New Zealand?
Yeah. Okay, I get your point.
I hate you with every fibre of my being because you wear white when the rest of you wear black. You absolute bastards.
It doesn't make a lot. Okay, it's just me getting upset.
Anya is in the chat with hashtag cancel Sa. You don't even need. You don't even need to hashtag it. He's done it himself. He's cancelling himself.
Oh, am I going to get in trouble? Do you think? Everyone hashtag it. Oh, shall I just go?
It's viral now. 2 people have put it. It's viral.
3 people. Oh my god! Everyone, stop it! I'm so sorry if I've offended anybody out there from New Zealand or otherwise.
We're going to get a tweet from Timothy UK saying they do not like what you have said about the hacker.
Out of all of that, it's the concern about a tweet from somebody who makes shampoo is the thing that you're getting hung up on.
the Lever brothers are very powerful, you know, sir.
Yeah, fair enough. That's all I've got, matey, from Twitter this week. That's all we got.
Thank the Lord. Jesus wept.
What about yourself, Mags? Is there any bargains that have not been mentioned yet?
So I frequent a website called hotukdeals.com. Basically, it's like a forum of people who go around, and when they find a bargain, they'll post it in this forum, and basically the mass of people there will buy up everything lock, stock and barrel. I've had some really cheap deals from there. I think I got a pair of walking boots for like £4 on there once. I got Carlos a regatta coat for like £8. But it actually it led me to another website that's actually called Discount Dragon. Now, this is a very recent one, but it sticks in my mind so well. We bought, so from this Discount Dragon, it's kind of like short shelf life products, what you get in like shops and supermarkets. So we got 10 packets of McVitie's digestive biscuits for a penny each.
Why? Okay.
We got I think there was about 4 bottles of Heinz ketchup for like 30 pence. 2 jars of honey. But it's not like honey that you would put on toast or in your porridge or anything like that. It's smoked chipotle and paprika honey. So it's basically for basting over meat. They were a penny a jar. A penny a jar. So
what's wrong with them then?
Absolutely nothing. There's just they have short shelf life. So the sell by date for the biscuits is something like July. They go out of date in July. But yeah, Discount Dragon it's called.
That's insane. Is there like a minimum spend?
I think it might be £20 to qualify for free delivery. But there's so many bargains on there, you'd easily spend the £20 without touching the size. Yeah.
Why? Okay. Why?
So,
that sounds amazing.
Check it out.
I'm getting it.
We are not affiliated with Discount Dragon, but if they want to sponsor Chain Wrestling, they can happily send me some more McVitie's digestive biscuits for a penny a throw. I've still got some packets of it now. I think we've got about 6 packets left. Just a penny each.
Yeah, that's insane, mate. That's insane. I don't think I can top that. That's it.
You're just trying to rush through this Gillberg bullshit, aren't you?
Yeah. Shall we scan through the chat and I suppose get on to our wrestling side of the show, Magsy?
Yes, we shall. Lots of cancel SARS, and that's what gets SAR cancelled.
Brilliant.
That tradition is to respect or pay homage to the native New Zealand tribes. For fuck's sake, Simon from Sharon. Pimple Dick candidate there in it at camp. Yeah, it's respect, sir. First Gillberg shade now hating on a hacker. Fucking hell, Sai is on a mission tonight. Your editing needs to be on point this week. Q Sar trying to apologize by doing his own hacker and making it infinitely worse. That's brilliant. Just kept digging, didn't he? Yes, he did. And reminded me of that Simpsons quote, dig up, stupid. There we go. So it was a bad idea asking to go through the chat because it was all 100%. You are the Rick Steiner of this week's episode.
Whoa. Whoa. I don't bloody think so.
And
My
poor
goodness.
Giselle Hacker-Shaw taking grief from you. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. If anybody is listening from New Zealand, there are many other shows on this network that are not xenophobic towards you. I personally love New Zealand, Lamb, and Lord of the Rings is one of the best things ever made. So I love New Zealand and all you New Zealandians. It's him.
New Zealandians.
It's him. He's the xenophobe.
I'm not xenophobic. My God. I just don't. Okay, I apologize. I get it now. It's a respect thing. I'm so sorry. Ah, dear. Okay, should we move on before I get myself in more trouble?
Yes, let's. Oh, I feel just disgusted to be working with you.
Press the button, Mags.
I'm trying to stall whilst I find the button.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, a bit of sad news in the chat there, actually. Looking at that. King's Pigs Butters breaking the news for us there. Bushwhacker Butch has passed away.
Oh, wow. That's sad. I've loved the Bushwhackers. Absolutely loved them. Oh, what an absolute shame.
Yeah.
Rest in power, Butch.
I know he's struggling with some health issues and so on for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that is a shame. That is a shame. And as a kid,
from New Zealand as well.
Well, there we go. Look.
He's heard what he said, and it's just.
Let's just stop. Oh no, that is a shame. That is a shame.
It is.
What was also a shame was that Magsy won the poll this week. So we had to cover Gillberg. But Magsy didn't put forward one match. Didn't put forward two. Oh no, not three. We have 4 Gillberg matches to cover. Now, most of these are available on the WWE Network. There is a couple there's 1 or 2 that there are links to YouTube on via the show's Twitter as well. So if you go to our tweet that puts out the details of the show before we go live, tagged to that is another tweet with the details of these matches. If you want to go check them out at any point, if you've not already seen them, trust me, you won't need long. Magsy, what order do you want to look at these Gillberg matches in? And secondly, why did you pick these particular 4?
So these particular 4 were, I thought, would be a good cross section of Gillberg's career as a character. There's a lot of career progression, a lot of improvements that you can see throughout his time with the company. And it kind of shows just how he developed from a jobber to being a title contender, world title contender, and then just the passing the torch then onto the next generation when he gave the belt to SRS. I think there's just a massive kind of career arc condensed down into about 4 minutes of wrestling. So yeah, I thought it was a good snapshot of how if you dream enough, you can be more than you ever imagined.
I can't believe you spouted all that bullshit, man. Just keep it
As
straight
Cam
face.
says,
you deserve
as
a
Cam
reward for
says
that.
in the chat, he was a trailblazer, and Cam, you're right, because he had a vision, and he took that little bit of a nugget of an opportunity, and he made a career out of it, and he made a fan base out of it. Yeah, it's inspiring to see. It really is. Gillberg could easily be the everyman of wrestling. You look at what can be achieved by somebody like Gillberg and think, I could do that. He's an inspiration to us all.
But wasn't that just Dusty Rhodes' gimmick?
No, Dusty Rhodes had loads of money. He flew to these arenas in private jets. He was a sham. And as he was proved yesterday, his legacy meant absolutely nothing to WWE. Whereas Gillberg was homegrown. They give him a sliver of opportunity, and he took that, turned the dial up to 11, and ran with it, and became the longest serving light heavyweight champion in wrestling history. Well, in WWF wrestling history.
15 months, mate. 15 months he held that title.
He did, yeah. Amazing. It's not like they forgot about it or anything like that. No. And he didn't show up on TV for months and months. He was a fighting champion. Yeah.
Don't they actually say in the commentary of one of the matches we're about to look at, we forgot about this guy?
Yeah. Jerry Lawler says, Dwayne Gill, who is it? And he'd been in the company for like 10 years before that. Amazing.
Which one do you want to look at first, mate?
We've got to go right to the beginning. Okay. of the. I mean, this is pre-Gillberg. This is before he's got his I want to say his career opportunity. This is him basically making his mark on the WWE WWF universe at the time.
Yes. So we're starting with the title win then.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the network, you can find it on the 23rd of November, 1998 edition of Monday Night Raw. Christian from The Brood is defending the light heavyweight championship against our hero, Dwayne, as Dwayne Gill. How long is this match, Mags?
Is this the 20-second one? No, this is 46 seconds. No, it's 20 seconds. Yeah, because it's 20, then 10, then 2:20, then 46. So this is 20 seconds of a match.
Okay, so the match begins. I can't believe I'm doing this. The match begins with Christian in charge. At one point, he has the match won, but lifts Gillberg up from the canvas on the 2 count, which is a fantastic heel tactic, isn't it?
Arrogance.
It is. What a buffoon, because it costs him, Magsy, doesn't it? It costs him. There's a missed Stinger splash attempt, which then leads to Christian using a huge gutbuster, which did look very, very painful. Sold majestically well by our buddy Dwayne.
Well, it hurt. I mean, Christian was a powerful guy.
Do you think Christian was shooting on Gillberg here? Do you think he was jealous of his talent?
All these matches, there's an element of shooting. Like, shooting up, perhaps.
Gillberg ends up on the outside of the ring, starts getting beaten up by the rest of the Brood before the Job Squad arrive.
Yep, and the Job Squad coming to defend their man. I don't think he'd actually joined the Job Squad at this time yet. They were just the Job Squad were feuding with the Brood, and they help him, slightly help him win this title.
I mean, it wasn't necessary, of course. He would have dealt with this on his own.
He was dealing with it on his own, like at 3-on-1, because if you go back to even before the match, when the Brood are out in the ring, they're mocking Gillberg. I mean, you can see Edge and Gangrel laughing at each other when they're seeing Gillberg come to the ring. I mean, that lit a fire. That lit a fire under Dwayne's ass. Believe you me.
He would have took all three of them on. Similar to how, remember when Brock Lesnar made his debut and was taking on tag teams on his own? That's how
when
I
he
envisioned
whooped the
that going.
Hardys, when he absolutely destroyed them. Yeah, exactly.
As this fight on the outside is carrying on, Too Cold Scorpio appears out of nowhere from somewhere above. Obviously, he's come off the top rope and effectively smashes into Christian, drags Dwayne Gill over. Gillberg makes the cover. 3 count. We have a new light heavyweight champion. So, Magsy, this first one out of 10, what are you thinking?
Nah.
Not a 9. A 9. No, I don't mean seconds. I mean,
I think we don't get to see enough of Dwayne Gillberg in this match because people don't know who he is. Even Jerry Lawler says on commentary, "Who is this guy?" So I don't think giving this a massively high score would be fair because it is relatively short. I don't know. I'm keeping a straight face through this. But this is the start of something that will become epic. So you've got to kind of take that into account. So I'm going to give this an 8.
Fuck's sake. Okay. It can't go no higher than a 3 for me. I'm afraid. But
what? Did you say 3?
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It's a match. It's a 20-second match of outside interference.
We have never been so far apart in how we see a match before. I don't know
because you're being a complete knobhead about this. After Gillberg has won the light heavyweight championship, we then move on to the second selection.
You're missing out the fact that he got interviewed on the ramp by Michael Cole.
I may have missed this. Oh, no. I did see this because I didn't understand anything he was saying.
So basically, he was saying that it was the greatest day of his life, and he basically dedicated it to his daughter. But yeah, it is. It's so far. I mean, it wasn't at the end of his career, but it was certainly the greatest day of his life up to that day.
Well, fair enough. He's won a championship in the WWF, and there's many wrestlers out there, and many people who are not wrestlers who dream of being wrestlers who will never get that opportunity. And I'm not saying that taking the piss. Genuinely, that's quite an achievement. There's not that many title belts to go around.
I mean, there is now.
There is now.
Yeah. 17.
Speaking of title belts, however, Magsy, what do we have next? Is it the European title contest?
Yes, this is where Gillberg has moved up into the higher echelons of the card. No longer is he the jobber. No longer is he the curtain jerker. He's going for double gold. So he's taking on the newly crowned European champion Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, who came back at WrestleMania yesterday and broke his quad, just like his dad did at the Royal Rumble.
What a silly sausage. So with this one, we have Shane. Oh dear. I mean, there's nothing to it, really. But I did get some enjoyment out of what happens after the match. Effectively, Gillberg hits a spear on Shane McMahon, but then we get a belt shot from Shane whilst the referee is distracted, and he pins Gillberg. But here, in all seriousness, Gillberg's fantastic because he then goes to try and spear Chyna and bounces off her, and it's bloody brilliant. I genuinely laughed out loud watching that. I thought it was so funny, so well done.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and all to please the boss's son again. Which I mean, Gillberg was a company man. He did what he thought was best for business, and at that time, Shane McMahon retaining that title was best for business. Unfortunately, so Gillberg, being the wrestler that he is, he counted the lights for Shane to put him over. You can't downgrade the guy for that. He was doing what his bosses were telling him to do, unfortunately. The
Out of
story
10,
comes
Maxine?
first. Yeah, this is the low point. I think this was just a typical wrestler, maybe shooting a little bit too high, and he came down with a bit of a bump. So I can't give him more than 6 for this one.
Oh, for goodness sake. I'm going to go 3 again, purely because it amused me at the end. I thought Gillberg was very, very funny at the end. Up next is probably the most interesting of the matches, though. We have a world title opportunity for Mr. Gill.
And again, Shane McMahon is heavily involved in this.
Yes, exactly. It's on the 2nd of September edition from 1999 of SmackDown. And we have a tease that Triple H is going to be forced to effectively face Stone Cold Steve Austin. He must defend his WWF World title.
Bold SOB.
Against the bold SOB, yes.
Multiple times.
Then, which I imagine strikes even more fear into Triple H's soul than hearing that glass break, Gillberg's music strikes. You can almost hear his knees are knocking with fear.
Well, when Triple H goes to the ring, he's genuinely angry that he's having to defend his title so close to a pay-per-view against a devastating opponent. And then when he sees the men's bathroom door with that Gillberg sign sellotape to it, he starts laughing, which I think is just typical of Triple H in this era. That
Very
kind
disrespectful.
Just burying everyone. The golden shovel. Triple H just controlling the whole of the title scene. And when somebody rises up and earns themselves a title shot, and he's laughing at the guy. Laughing at him, but do you know what? He doesn't laugh at the beginning of the match when he's speared almost out of his boots straight away. And this is what I was alluding to earlier, that you see a progression in Gillberg. He's going up against Triple H, who at the time was the best. He was the guy, and Gillberg gave him a match. Gillberg gave him a worry. He was almost world champion.
Yeah, imagine that world. We have a spear on Triple H straight away, and then a tease of what I'm assuming was going to be the jackhammer move that Goldberg uses. And I really wanted to see him get Triple H up and hit that move. I really wanted to see that,
but he just didn't have it.
Bastard Triple H. Here turns it into a vertical suplex, and they just stomps the shit out of Gillberg here. But Gillberg gets a second wind, and we have 2 more spears, which again look pretty decent. He's doing okay with that move there. You know, he misses the third though, and eats a pedigree and gets pinned.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie, it's a very short match. There's not a lot to it, but I quite enjoyed this.
He did so much with the very little time that he was given. And like I said, he showed up at the big event. This was his opportunity to strike a chord with the WWF universe, and the fact that he was able to spear the game, Triple H, just you can't not respect the guy for that. He went almost 2.5 minutes against Triple H. He got the majority of the offense in, and one mistake, unfortunately,
did he really?
One mistake led to his downfall. It was a near flawless attempt by Gillberg to
you got to stop doing that.
He come that close. He reminded me in this of when Cena came out and faced Kurt Angle, and he did the whole ruthless aggression and slapped him, and then he goes to Kurt after the match. I almost had you. This was Gillberg. He almost had Triple H, just didn't have it enough on the day.
Yeah, it was exactly the same as Cena Angle. You're right. I stand corrected. Out of 10 for this one, Magsy.
Oof, I mean, it's got it all. It's got drama. It's got amazing technical wrestling. It's a nan. It's got to be a nan. It's a damn good match. So a nan.
I think this is as good a 2.5 minute match as I've seen, to be fair. I'm being serious. As far as 2.5 minute matches go, they're normally squashes. There's a bit more to this, you know. There's not just some one guy destroying another. There's a bit more to it. You had the tease of Gillberg hitting the spear earlier on and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so I'm okay going to like a 5 for this one. But again, what's hindering all of these, I want to put out there right now, what's hindering all of these isn't necessarily the wrestlers in the ring. It's the fact that the matches are so short. If these matches were longer and we saw more, maybe the ratings would be higher.
Maximize your minutes. That's the mantra. And this is what Dwayne Gill was doing.
Right, okay. And finally, we come to a sad, sad moment for us all. Well, twofold a sad moment for us all, because it's the last of our Gillberg matches we're looking at this week. So that's very sad. And it's also the end of his historic 15-month light heavyweight title reign. He takes on S.A. Rios. And a young Lita accompanies S.A. Rios to the ring. Gillberg is in the ring giving a bit of a sort of upbeat promo and talking about how he's issuing an open challenge, basically. And the open challenge is answered by S.A. Rios. We have a spear straight off the bat. And you're thinking, oh, yeah, hello, this could be over very, very quickly.
And this was a brutal spear as well.
It was.
It was really well done.
It was. Rios then does some lucha libre, flippy, flying around stuff, hits a big spinning heel kick, a hurricane rana, a moonsault, and it's a 3 count. And he's dethroned Gillberg for the light heavyweight championship. And then to top it off, Lita decides to hit a moonsault as well.
You could argue that the results should be reversed because of that. We have seen there has been precedents of matches results being reversed because one of the wrestlers attacked for too long or won't release a hold. The fact that Lita's come in post match to kind of just stamp on Gillberg's dreams it's ridiculous, and I don't think she should have done it. She should be disgusted in her attitude. But you have to pass on the baton sometimes and let these young wrestlers run wild and run free. And Gillberg, he's had a monumental career, a monumental reign as light heavyweight champion. And when you are so successful and you have this aura of unbeatable prowess, the rub that S.A. Rios got from beating Gillberg, it propelled him into the stratosphere, and he ended up becoming one of the biggest lucha libre legends in the company. So Gillberg gave him that rub.
So there was an argument there to be made then, I suppose, that Gillberg effectively didn't lose the title this night because of the attack after the bell and the continuation of the... Yeah, exactly. None of his matches in the future were announced as being light heavyweight title defenses. So in a way, he could still be light heavyweight champion right now and not even know it.
Well, he's probably not, though.
No, he's not, mate. He's not. Yeah. He's definitely not. But there we go.
But what I did love, and I should have really mentioned it earlier in the review, but Gillberg gave his all for this character, to the point where he got a tattoo.
Yes,
an actual Goldberg tattoo. Beforehand, he drew a dotted line around his arm to take the piss out of Gold. But he eventually did end up getting a Goldberg tattoo to really live the gimmick. I mean, not every wrestler is going to be a Triple H or a John Cena or a The Rock. Some people are going to be a Barry Horowitz. Some people are going to be a Mark Sanders. some people are going to be a Gillberg. And mock as much as you like, and we've had a lot of fun mocking him. The guy lived his dream. He was on TV. He was the light heavyweight champion, and he got a career out of basically taking the piss. You know, as much as I'm mocking the guy and really kind of rubbing it in, you can't fault the guy for that. He made an absolute career out of this. Good on him.
I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, we didn't actually rate that last match. I'm just going to give it a 3, a 10. Yeah. Okay.
You are so disgusted in me. It's like I am never recording with this tosser again.
So this is as good as Sean Razor at WrestleMania 10, is what you're telling me.
Correct. I'm telling you that unequivocally.
Okay.
This is Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24. It's that level.
Me. Dear me.
I'm sorry, Gillberg. I love you. Moonsault.
In all seriousness, though, and yeah, like you said, Max, we had a bit of fun and so on, but every time Gillberg's come on my TV with the sparklers, with the music, with the impressions of Goldberg, it makes me smile, and he's entertaining. You know, he's entertaining, and so you can't fault the guy for that.
No,
you know, and like you said, he's held a title in the WWF. He was still wrestling up to a couple of years ago. Good luck to the fella. He was very entertaining, made me smile. You can't ask for more than that, can you?
No, exactly. So that's why it's all 10s. I changed my scores. 4 10s across the board for me.
So he gets 40 out of 10 this week.
I feel that these scorings will not be canon.
I'm not sure.
I feel we may forget about these, like a fever dream.
Yeah, indeed. Dan Griffin there in the chat saying, Christ, I said that through gritted teeth. No,
He said the whole episode through gritted teeth.
And honestly, I'm being serious. Every time Gillberg came on my television, he made me laugh. You know, he made me smile. But back in the day, or even watching these matches back now, it made me smile. I'm mocking them, and we're laughing about how short they are and the gimmick and so on. But I had fun watching these back. So there we go. So then, Magsy, numerous ways of linking all over the place this week. Where are we going next week if, God fucking forbid, your selection wins again?
Now, I am very tempted to give the CWF what they want, and what they want right now is Barry Horowitz. So I may actually switch to that, but I'm not. No, I wanted to get some good wrestling in for once, because we've watched some crap, haven't we?
What do you mean? You gave them all fucking 10s.
Yeah, there was slight mockery there. So, I mean, there wasn't 10 minutes of wrestling, so it's hard to give them actual 10s, but some actually good, entertaining, and hopefully longer wrestling. So let's get to some. So we have Gillberg, light heavyweight champion. Another former light heavyweight champion was Taka Michinoku.
Yes.
Taka Michinoku worked both for the WWF and also he has worked for New Japan Pro Wrestling. He currently actually works for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Doesn't he have his own? Did he have his own company as well for a little while?
I think he's still got it. Michinoku Pro.
That's it. Yeah.
Someone else who has worked for both New Japan and the WWE is AJ Styles. So I want to watch some AJ Styles wrestling because you can't really go wrong. And I think we should watch from 2016's TLC pay-per-view, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose.
Oh, interesting. I don't remember that.
Well, then you didn't remember half of the things that happened to Gillberg. So
This is true.
Taking your memory as a level setter is not a good thing.
No, very true, very true. No, interesting. I love Dean Ambrose. Moxley and AJ Styles is fantastic as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting if it wins.
I'm getting grief in the chat. F me. I mean, Morty even censoring himself in the chat. F me. That was quite a link. Well, sometimes these links are tenuous.
Yes, they are. You only got to go back and listen to the previous 115, 16 episodes to know that Magsy does.
Cam.
Funaki.
Oh, I missed out. I might quickly look up some Funaki matches.
Well, I think because this has been such good fun, I think we could potentially try and do a Barry Horowitz special with King Pig's Bladders in mind sometime in the future. And other wrestlers people can shout out as long as we can link to them and so on. It could be a reoccurring theme going forward on certain occasions, Magsy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if we can get to Barry Horowitz, I would be happy to watch multiple Horowitz matches. So Danny's putting us straight here. Michinoku Pro Wrestling was founded by the great Sasuke and is currently run by Jinsei Shinzada. Taka doesn't own it. Oh, well, there you go. So he's a bit of a bum. Then he's Mr. Michinoku.
They just stole his name. My link to where I'd like to go next week, please God. Let me win a poll for once. I'm going to use Triple H as the link because he was obviously one of the opponents of the great Gillberg. And Triple H was involved in a match in 2005 at the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view. He didn't defend, actually. Sorry, he was involved in a match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship that was inside an elimination chamber with Shawn Michaels as a guest referee. And he took on Randy Orton, Batista, Chris Jericho, Edge, and Chris Benoit. And the reason I put this forward is because obviously that's an incredible collection of talent there. And I don't remember it at all.
I'm getting a running theme with you this episode.
Oh, it's all the time, mate. It's all the time. I imagine when I press play, if this wins and I press play, I'll go, oh, yeah, I do remember. Yeah. I believe this pay-per-view was from Puerto Rico. They made a big deal of doing a show in Puerto Rico, and I think this is I could be wrong there. Correct me in the chat if I am incorrect, please. But yeah, so
look at you linking to current events as well. I think is it WrestleMania Backlash is going to be from Puerto Rico.
Oh yes. Okay. Oh, interesting.
So you meant that link.
I meant that, yeah. That was completely, totally that was my intention. So yes, 2005 New Year's Revolution Elimination Chamber match for the vacant World Heavyweight title. Shawn Michaels as guest referee, and we have Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, Chris Jericho, Edge, and Chris Benoit. And that is going up against AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose from the 2016 TLC pay-per-view. You can vote in the poll when that is later in the week on our Twitter account at @chain_wrestling. Magsy, shall we scan through the chat before we depart?
Yes, there's been lots of love for Gillberg, even though you have not been a massive fan. So we'll start here with Benny Macken. Thank you for popping in, Benny. Nice to see you. Says your scoring of 3 is generous. I don't know. I think it's mean. Feels a bit mean.
Mean. Yeah, okay.
We've got more in the chat turning up just at the right time, saying Hall of Spagos. Anya saying Gillberg is in and Sa is out. I mean, yeah, he's done it himself. Some of the Barry and Dwayne matches were on for nearly 3 minutes. Listen, he had a match of 7 minutes 57 seconds whilst defending his title. So he put in the work, did Gillberg. Mort says, I was trying to sleep, but work decided otherwise, and I have no idea what's going on. We don't. We had no idea what's going on as well, and we watched these matches.
Indeed.
Gillberg has always been in. Strap yourself in, Morty. Gillberg is reigning supreme this evening. Yeah, I mean, we did do a quiz where we ended 0-0 out of 5 questions each.
Yeah, we didn't do very well at all.
But we can't all be Cam Griffin and be Gillberg experts. King's Pigs Banners put, why is Mags choosing such short matches when there's amazing quality out there? to be fair, the quality was sparse, and as I proved to Sa, not always on the WWE network.
We had to search for this. We had to search for some of this gold. It's like trying to track down those rare Barry Windham matches that are 100% worth the internet scraping, you know?
Of course they are. Kingsman Banners also says, Sa not appreciating how Gillberg makes his opposition look amazing. Correct. He's a selling machine. Mort says, okay, I don't really know what's happening, but I know Mags and he's been 100% genuine. Yeah, my love for Gillberg is above reproach. I love the guy. Cam says, have we worked out, are the entrances actually longer than the matches? Yeah, for the first two, yeah, it was. And for the last match, the interview segment where Gillberg says he wants to face a challenger who's been champion 15 months, that's longer than his match as well.
Yes, it is indeed. Magsy coughing his guts up because it is a Monday and that's what happens.
It is, yeah. Cam saying, I imagine it is at least every other day, Sa. Yeah. King's Pigs Banner, if there was only a 1 hour iron match with Gillberg, I bet there's one out there. I bet there is.
I bet there's not. Gillberg supremacy from my eldest daughter Anya there, yeah.
Yeah. King's Pigs Banner says, Morty, don't panic. It's just banter. Calm. Colin Delaney special next week.
Who's Colin Delaney? Magsy's dying, mate. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm just upset about the end of Gillberg's appreciation now.
Colin, I'm gonna look really daft now, aren't I? But who's Colin Delaney?
He was in the WWE for a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I think I want to say like early 2000s.
Okay. I don't remember him at all.
Cam says, yes, he did sound like an absolute powerhouse, our Dwayne was. Gillberg is winning Sai over. Nah, he didn't. Morty says it's the mantra that Alicia Fox lived by. I think that's when I said do maximize your minutes or do as much you can with what you've got. Sa work rate wanker Powell. Yeah, exactly. And then Morty says, Uncle Griffin put some respect on the name of El Ladder.
El Ladder. Yes, indeed.
El Ladder.
If you've not listened to the Morty and Fitch pub quiz episode where Mags and I represented Chain Wrestling up against the brilliant duo from the Random Oysters podcast, go and check it out. It was fun to be on and it's a brilliant listen, as Morty and Fitch podcast always is.
And how we won that, I have no idea. That was ridiculous.
Because of me, mate. Because of old, Mr. Knowledge over here.
That's fair. RIP to the one true reign. King's Pig Banner saying, don't come in here with your Colin Delaney's Morty. And you're saying, I feel like Mags is slightly in love with Gillberg. No, I just appreciate technical
talent.
wrestling.
Yeah. Appreciate talent when you see it, mate. Mags is dying, bloody hell.
Yeah, it's rough today. Mags is selling like Barry Windham right now. Yeah, exactly. Not only for Gillberg, but also for Barry Windham and his long battle with emphysema. Cam says, I'm not the only one in love with Gillberg. And Dan says, you can't fault Gillberg's level of commitment. Exactly. You can't. Yeah. I mean,
committed to the gimmick.
Yeah, getting a Goldberg tattoo when you're a Goldberg impersonator. It's ridiculous.
Indeed.
King's Pigs Banner says you can join the cult of Gillberg, Anya. Yeah, there's no entrance fee. Just rock up. Morty says Mark Sanders was left field. Well, he was just a guy who achieved way more than he should have done.
Mike Sanders, I know. I know that name.
Dan Griffin says a lot about how well Gillberg did that we're still talking about him 20 years later.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great shout, to be fair. Really good point.
Anya is a fully now paid up member of the Gillberg Appreciation Society. She's honored to be a part of it. Sharon says she finished her maths just in time to catch the ends of Mags and Sa. Yeah, and the Gillberg love fest. Dan says he can't wait for the inevitable link to Barry Horowitz for the chain wrestling Barry Horowitz appreciation. That is going to happen.
It is not next week, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. Morty says, Sharon, do you ever have instant regrets? And I'm gonna jump straight to Sharon's reply. I married Sa. What do you think? Exactly.
Thanks, love. Thanks, love.
Cam says this episode has honestly brought me so much joy tonight. Thank you all. Optimized Gillberg in one evening, just bringing laughter and smile to everyone's face. Exactly. And Sa said that through gritted teeth. Yeah, but that's a lot of the chat. Basically caught up with. We go on quite a bit about me teasing a Barry Horowitz link. Scottish Danny is glad that we're going to appreciate Fanaki and maybe bring him up. King's Pigs Banner says this rivals the birth of my daughters. Jesus, that's a bringing a tear to my eye. Scottish Danny says your pick was one of the best chamber matches ever.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Benny says that WrestleMania Backlash is just Backlash now. So they've dropped the WrestleMania. Thank God. I mean, it was quite ridiculous. Dan Griffey says, Sa, you got to learn how to style these coincidences out. You actually could look like a genius. Cam says, you watched this not long back. It was a great choice. Morty says, if the Puerto Rico link next week is El Torito versus Swoggle in the WLC, I'll be fuming. That's a great match. Don't actually take the piss. We're the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Pub Quiz champions. That's me and Disa.
See, don't say reigning and defending, because that means they'll have us back.
the curtain jerkers as champions.
Indeed.
How many Gillberg matches can you put in one Ironman match? The answer is all of them. It's all of them. A Braden Walker special. Right, Dan, you take the piss. Did he wrestle maybe 6 times in the whole of his time in WWE?
Braden Walker. Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, it was it Cowboy? No, it weren't James Storm. Was it Chris Harris, weren't it? Wildcat Chris Harris, yeah. Colin Delaney's in the Jobber Hall of Fame. Barry took in Horowitz mags. Yeah, I'm good. I will link to Barry Horowitz, not Barry Windham. I will not link to Barry Windham, believe me. Connor says, great show, mates. Go crew. Hopefully we can keep our win streak going on Saturday. Well, good luck to the crew. And then Morty said he means that Colin Delaney isn't in the Jobber Hall of Fame. I mean, it may well be. But that's all the chat.
A real one?
There should be one.
There should be. Perhaps we should start one.
Who'd be the first ballot pick for Hall of Fame jobbers?
Randy Hogan.
Do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Just because I speak to the guy semi-regular and he's a lovely fella, and it's just, it'd be a great chance to get him on the show and have a chat.
Fair play. I mean, you could have always hoped to wish for maybe Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hogan would come on this show, I wonder what his opinions are on people from New Zealand. But anyway, anyway, Magsy, whereabouts can people find you online, my friend?
They cannot find me online, but you can follow me here on Twitter. I may eventually like or retweet any comment that you've put, but it's probably never going to happen. Or you can check out some stuff I did about a year ago on TikTok at MagsAllPods.
Awesome stuff. You can find me online, providing I'm not cancelled by tomorrow morning. And anything I'm involved in is at SJP World Media, the network that carries this show. And please go and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave us a review on all your podcast players and platforms. Thank you so much. But most importantly, you can find this show on Facebook and Twitter at @chain_wrestling. Magsy, I'm off now to go and practice some acting so I can pass off these coincidences as me meaning them to look more intelligent. I'll speak to you next week, my friend.
Rest in peace, Butch.